Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, the Black Business School. What's happening, everybody? I hope you're doing well. And I just want to say hi to you guys that are up late with me. I'm going live kind of late tonight, but I'm actually about to go to bed. But I like to talk about stuff while it's fresh on my mind, so I thought that I would do this for you in terms of giving you a quick overview of what I just did with Alicia. You guys, I mentioned earlier when I did my podcast that I was going to spend some time with my woman, and so we decided to do a Netflix and chill. And the movie I was looking forward to seeing was actually Dolemite is my name. I think that's what the movie's called, and it's got Eddie Murphy in it, and a lot of actors I really like. Let's see, I saw Eddie Murphy, Wesley Snipes, the guy from Key and Peele. Who else did I see? Mike Epps. Who actually I'm gonna see next week. I'm gonna see Mike Epps next week at Willie D's Roast in Houston. And who else did I see in the film? Just a lot of great people, a lot of really, really good actors. Even the guy from Better Call Saul, the white guy. A lot of really interesting actors were in this movie. And so anyway, I'm here to give you confirmation that the movie is damn good. T.I., that's my favorite rapper, so he was in the movie. Dolemite was a great movie. I'm going to say Eddie Murphy did a great job with this film. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know who was the person that came up with the concept and directed and all that. I don't have all the credits, but I will say that they did a great job, and I think Netflix did a great job of releasing this film and marketing it the way that they did. I enjoyed it. We watched it from cover to cover. It takes a lot for me to watch a movie all the way through. You know, a lot of movies bore me. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but anyway, with this one, I didn't get bored. I liked the story. It had a non-traditional story arc in the sense that a lot of movies have a thing where, you know, you see it's a hero's journey, right? So you see him climbing, then all of a sudden something devastating happens and it derails everything, and then at the last minute they recover and it all comes together, and there's usually a subplot to the actual plot, like they're not really trying to win the contest, they're really trying to overcome, you know, the fact that their mother didn't love them when they were little. And there's a little bit of that, right? There's a little bit of that traditional story telling, but it wasn't quite similar to other movies I've seen in the sense that it was just a good feel-good movie all the way through. And I felt like Eddie and whoever planned this movie, they made this movie for Black people. I think they made it. It's ironic though, right? Because you're talking about blaxploitation. Blaxploitation doesn't get a good rap. Blaxploitation films are kind of like, oh man, come on, man. You know, like slave movies. I don't know if y'all get sick of all these motherfucking slave movies that come out. Hey Zena, how are you? Hey Juju and D Love. I don't know if y'all get sick of all these slave movies like me, but I know they get on my nerves. But it wasn't in that tradition of the kind of annoying, stereotypical blaxploitation film. I think that it actually did a good job of kind of letting you see a lot of actors that you really like. I'm a big fan of Wesley Snipes, and I think that the film, in a way, it sort of did what the film was actually talking about that Rudy Ray Moore did. Rudy Ray Moore was the original Dolemite, and he talked about, you know, hiring Black actors that nobody else wanted and creating opportunities that didn't exist for Black actors, and that's what they were doing. They had a lot of these actors in there that you don't really see all the time. You don't see in a lot of flicks, and they got a chance to really shine and show their stuff. The leading lady was a hefty, very dark Black woman, which I thought was great as well, which tells me that Eddie is very much in tune with sort of how Hollywood operates in terms of what their standard of so-called beauty is. And I thought that was great. Let's see here. Doc, I need your guidance. What do you think about the Harriet Tubman movie with Harriet played by European African? I'm not so much into the whole, like, what's it, foundational Black versus Black people in other countries thing. That doesn't grab me as much because I'm not into trying to make more enemies than we already have. I don't believe Black people have any friends as it stands, and I don't really enjoy the idea of just fighting and dissing all the Black people in the diaspora who actually want to be on our side. But I do think that there's a point to be made in the Harriet film that Harriet Tubman should have been played by a Black American woman. That is something I do agree with. I don't understand why you got to go overseas to get somebody to play an important role in the U.S. And then the other problem is that, you know, from what I understand, somebody came to me, somebody I trust, said that in the Harriet movie, the lead actress has said some pretty horrible things about African-American women. I got to go look that up. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I got to go look that up. But if she did say anything, tell me what she said. Put it in the chat, and I'll respond to it, right here. But you know, the thing is, if she's dissing African American women and you're already not African American, I think that's a problem. I think you're kind of being disrespectful. And then the third piece is, man, I'm just tired of fucking slave movies. I'm sick of it. And also, I heard with the film that they didn't even, I think that not one white person was killed, but there was a black man killed. You know, like they kill a black man, but no white people died. Really, a Harriet Tubman movie? Ain't no white people get shot in a Harriet Tubman movie. Are you fucking playing? Are you kidding with me? Are you joking up in this motherfucker? Like, seriously. So I kind of feel like that movie bothers me. It rubs me the wrong way. Give me a yes or no. Yes or no. Do you plan to see the Harriet Tubman movie? Give me a yes or no. I'm not trying to tell you that you shouldn't see it. In fact, I'm going to read the reviews and talk to people before I see it. But are you going to see the movie or not? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Chi, thank you for your donation, by the way. If you put your donation in super chat, I always read the super chat comments because I really appreciate everybody that supports what we're trying to do. Because doing all this stuff, like we make movies, you know, you guys know we have Boyce Watkins Films and all that. That stuff ain't cheap. All that stuff costs money. So when you guys support us, you're supporting the building of Black media. We reach 1 million Black people a week. The Black Financial Channel is growing exponentially. We also have different platforms where we're reaching Black people with a different message. So your support is always valuable. So thank you, Chief, for your support. Chief says, I will not support Cynthia DeVito in the Harriet movie. Okay, so Cynthia DeVito. Let me look up. You know, I'm gonna do some research on Cynthia DeVito, and if I find some bullshit, y'all know I'm gonna let her have it. I'm not trying to go out and attack a movie or anything like that, but I am really curious to know what she said about African American women, because the person that I respect actually brought that to my attention, and I really need to find that out because I don't, you know, we don't need no like Black opinions, you know, doing this whole like I'm Black but not really Black kind of thing, and then trying to come and exploit the Black community story in order to make money, but don't want to respect the Black community. Like if you use our name, then you got to pay a tax. You must pay your respect. So it's Cynthia Erivo. Is that how you spell? Oh, somebody said Cynthia DeVito. Okay, I was like, I Googled it and nothing came up. But okay, thank you, Burdell, for the correct spelling, if that's the correct spelling. Here we go. Here she is. Okay, so I'm gonna do my research, and if I find anything good or bad, I will bring it back to you. Let's just say that she's 32 years old, so she's a young sister. I'm sure she's very talented. But again, it's almost a little bit weird when you have these really foundationally important African American stories, and they feel like they got to go overseas to get somebody to fill that role. Like a lot of y'all from London and everything, y'all know I love my Black London. I speak highly about how much I love the people in Black London. In fact, Black London is my second favorite city on earth to go to do events in, second to Brooklyn. Brooklyn's number one. So if you're in Brooklyn, stand up, or New York City, stand up, because y'all always show out. But London's number two, and then other cities are high on the list as well. And I would tell you that at the same time, though, I think that we should probably look into this, because I really can't help but get this feeling that they've taken the Harriet Tubman concept and they've left some of the edginess, but they've made it into sort of this weird white feminist narrative. You know, angry Black woman with a gun, don't need no black men are weak. You know, white people need white saviors to, you know, and make sure you don't hurt too many white people. No, they ought to put a warning label at the end that says no, or not warning label, but, you know, public service announcement, you know, no white people were hurt in the making of this film. You know how they do that with animals. But anyway, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. I didn't mean to jump off the subject, but I thought that was worth talking about. Now, here's the deal. I thought Dolemite was an excellent movie. I highly recommend going to see it. If you did not see the film, I suggest you check it out. What I really liked in the film was not just the fact that they brought back all these great Black actors that I love, but also the story was very inspirational. It's about a man, Rudy Ray Moore, who just believed in himself and stuck with his vision, and he built his own. You know, he wasn't getting a lot of support. I think that if you are Black and you grow up in America believing that the only way you can be successful is if a white man signs off on you, you might as well go back 250 years and just become a damn slave. Seriously, you don't need a white person to co-sign on your shit for you to have legitimate shit. Your shit is better than their shit. You are the shit. You are the original shit. So why in the hell are you gonna let some second-rate mediocre people tell you that you're not good enough? Like that's what I really like, is the fact that he just carved his own path. He did it. Kanye West did the same thing. y'all might not like Kanye, but y'all know Kanye is big. Kanye ain't tiny, and he would still be tiny if he had a tiny mind in the beginning and hadn't circumvented the forces that were keeping him from getting to where he wanted to get to. Also, what I also like is, I like the fact that he studied what worked. I think that's really important. I think that studying what works is really big, whether it's entertainment or business or anything else. He didn't listen to too many smart people. If smart people had opinions that didn't fit his pre-existing expectation and narrative for himself, he ignored that. And I think that's really important because a lot of people who tell you what can't be done, they don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know. They don't. Sometimes people tell you something can't be done, and then you go do it, and then they're like, oh, I guess it can be done. When I went to college, I told a couple of my black advisors, literally, these are supposed to be my mentors. I told them that my goal was to make straight A's in college, and which isn't a big deal, right? I mean, lots of students make straight A's, but not many black students at that time are making straight A's. And I remember both of them said no. It's not possible. One of them said, come on, it's impossible to make all A's. And I said, why? White people do it all the time. I remember saying that when I was 18 years old. And then I had an administrator, and I told this lady, she worked in the the cultural, it was called minority affairs at the time. I don't like calling myself a minority, but I remember I said to her, I think I can make straight A's all the way through college. And she said, if you think you're gonna get out of here without ever making a B, you went for a rude awakening. And I thought back to that, and I thought that was the most terribly, like a horribly defeatist thing to say to a young 18-year-old kid who was really trying to do something good with his life, And now I didn't make straight A's all the way through college. I have to confess that I did get a couple B's. I had a bad semester and I had to retake a couple classes to get my GPA back up. But for the most part, I had the highest grade point average of all the black students on campus. And the way I got there was because I thought bigger than everybody else. I just ignored what people said. I didn't listen to small-minded people. So what I'm saying to you is, at the end of the day, what I like about Dolemite is it's all about thinking big. It's all about believing in your possibilities. It's all about going for what's yours. You got one life to live. You might as well live the life you want instead of living the life that some small-minded motherfucker gave you, because that's not going to make you happy. All right, so Chi, thank you for your donation again. Chi says she is Nigerian. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. But wait, is she Nigerian British? Is that what it's? There's a lot of Nigerian people in London, but she is very hateful toward ADOS. Interesting. Feminist agenda. She is a clown. I support you and Claude Anderson. Love from Oakland. Okay, well, thank you for the filling me in, Chi. I'm gonna look her up. I'm not gonna support a film if you got some idiot who's playing the lead role. Now, here's one thing that was really interesting. One thing that's really interesting about the film. Tell me if you noticed any of this or not. But did you notice that in the film, Rudy Ray Moore, Dolemite's character, never had a black female love interest? Not that I recall. Now, mind you, he was always talking about fucking lots of women. He had pretty girls all around, but there was no black woman or even a white woman, no woman around that he was like, this is my woman. This is going to be my wife, or I love you, girl. There was no love story really there that I saw, that I recall. The only thing you saw, because I was watching the one scene, and this is how Hollywood's real sneaky with the agendas, right? How they sneak the agenda in there. So they're in this limo going to the premiere for the film. In the limo, I said to Alicia, I said, look who's in that limo. You got 3 big black dudes sitting next to each other. Eddie Murphy, the big woman who was his sidekick, who was Queen Bee, and then you had the gay man. You had the whole movie, you had this real feminine dude who was always next to Dolemite, always with him in every scene. And never once did they tell you who he was. They never told you if that was his brother, if that was his cousin, if that was his girlfriend or boyfriend, or if that was, like his homeboy. Like who was that, right? Now, somebody says he was gay. His old manager said he was. So I guess that's what it is. I guess that was their way of saying that he was gay without saying he was gay. But isn't that interesting though, that that he was in that space, which is fine. That's who he is. People can do what they want to do. But yet all the Dolemite raps are about pussy and fucking women and everything else. I found that really, really interesting. I don't know. It's kind of like 2019, I guess. But anyway, but it was a good movie. It was a great Snipes and Murphy. It was so great to see Eddie Murphy and Wesley Snipes in the same movie. Eddie Murphy has a special gift when it comes to filmmaking. Eddie Murphy, I'm tempted to say Eddie Murphy is the greatest filmmaker of the last 30 years. I'm tempted to say that. If he's not the greatest, he's in the top five, because Eddie Murphy's movies are always good. They're always thoughtful. They're always creative. They're always wonderful to look at on screen. I mean, let's just kind of go down memory lane right now. Hit the thumbs up button, please, if you could. Please hit the thumbs up button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. Let's really sit here and let's just pay a quick tribute to the greatness of Eddie Murphy. Let me see. Let's look at the movies he made, not the movies he was in. He makes a movie even if he doesn't make the movie, if that makes sense. Even when he ain't making the movie, he makes the movie, right? Eddie Murphy just has a way on screen that's amazing. You know, the man still looks the same, 30 years later. When he was doing Beverly Hills Cop and Trading Places in 48 Hours and all that other stuff, he made those movies even when he wasn't making the movie. But I want to talk about the movies he made, not the movies he made, if that makes any sense. So the movies that he made, if you go back, you look at what he did with or he made the Norbit movies, which were really good, really interesting. I think he made those movies, or he started them anyway. If I get it wrong, just forgive me. Just chalk it up to my ignorance. The Nutty Professor, very good. Let's see here. Okay, Haunted Mansion. We won't hold that against you. Life that he did with Martin Lawrence. Anybody remember Life? Life was deep. Life kind of threw everybody for a loop. Eddie was teaching y'all's asses. Y'all didn't expect it. Y'all thought y'all was gonna be laughing the whole time, but he was teaching y'all. That's what he was doing in that movie. Coming to America, my God, all those black people on the set. I mean, you don't see that very often in movies. I mean, you got to be deliberate and conscious to get that many black people on a movie set. That shit don't happen by accident. All these niggas out here don't want to be black, but Eddie went all the way with that, and I love him for it. Dr. Doolittle, I don't know if he did that movie or not, but I remember I enjoyed that movie. Boomerang, I remember Boomerang with Halle Berry. That was great. Let's see, Dreamgirls. I mean, he did great with Dreamgirls. I did not see Mr. Church or Daddy Daycare. That movie he did with Steve Martin, Bowfinger, I thought that was mediocre. I don't know if he made that or not, but I didn't like that so much. The movie Pluto Nash, believe it or not, I believe that's kind of underrated. I enjoyed Pluto Nash a lot. Like, that was a really good movie, actually. Vampire in Brooklyn was super cool with Angela Bassett. It was like a cool, beautiful black movie, like really black and really Eddie Murphy. And my two favorites obviously are Coming to America and Harlem Nights. I don't know which one I love the most. I think with Harlem Nights, I liked Harlem Nights because I felt like with Harlem Nights, and he did this a little bit too in Coming to America, he just paid tribute to all these great black talented people that came before him. With Harlem Nights, you're seeing Eddie Murphy on screen with Red Fox and Richard Pryor and Della Reese and and all these other amazing, extraordinary people. There's more in there. I didn't name everybody, but it was just so awesome to see that. And then there was a deliberate effort to make sure that what you were seeing on screen in terms of black people, because they were very classy. They're very sharp. They just well dressed, had money. It wasn't a matter of them playing project hoes and pimps and killers and gangsters and thugs. They were actually playing like really civilized, sophisticated people. And I thought that was great. Now Shrek, yeah, he made Shrek. I mean, without Eddie Murphy, there is no Shrek. Without Eddie Murphy, Shrek does not take off the way that it did. So I think Eddie is would he cast well for 007? Now, you're being funny. No, Eddie Murphy would not be. He'd be a good, like, if they did a spoof 007, I could see him killing that. Eddie's just a guy that seems like he can do anything. I mean, as far as the actors and all that, they can't touch him. They can't touch his ass. They need to go ahead and just give him his Lifetime Achievement Award right now and call it a day. Coming to America Part 2, I would definitely be seeing that. Now, let me see here. Let's see here. I see how Hollywood got us again. I know, right? I saw Eddie Murphy's Dolemite, says Dwayne. It was good. Your Rags to Riches story. I didn't see T.I. Yeah, T.I. was well disguised. That's right. Snoop was in it. Yeah, T.I. played a movie executive who basically who rejected his movie, basically. It's real funny. He's wearing an afro and a beard. So you didn't catch him. I was sitting there watching it with Alicia. I said, that's T.I. And she said, Boyce, I just said that. I said, you did? She said, yeah. I said, oh, yeah, look at him. Go ahead, T.I. T.I. is very talented, too. Like, he's a guy that whenever he does something, he does it well. I respect that. Now, let's see here. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I see some of your questions in here. Black Rose says, "Don't go see Harriet." Well, let's not kill the movie before we get a chance to give it a shot. I mean, give people a chance to see it and look at the reviews. I mean, maybe it has some redemptive quality, but I do kind of feel like I don't know. I don't like it when you take somebody as raw and as powerful as Harriet Tubman and kind of allow um, that narrative to be shaped for the public by brainwashed Negroes and their allies. When you have this sort of white feminist layout with the white hero in it, I could tell a white hero movie from a mile away. There's a way that the white characters are positioned relative to the black heroes, um, or to, it just there's just a way these movies are done. And so I'm not if I hear too many bad things about Harriet, I'm not going to see it, or I'll wait 5 years and watch it on motherfucking Netflix or damn, $2 rental on my Xfinity channel. I'm not gonna go and pay money to, put it, make it give big numbers in the box office. I'll go see something else. Let's see here. Chi says, "Do you think Coming to America 2 will be sabotaged?" I don't know. I do know that I saw Tracy Morgan and Leslie Jones on the set. And you can't have everything you want, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a big fan of either one of them because I feel like those are two people that are kind of modern day minstrel shows. Those are two actors. They fit in that Tiffany Haddish category of actors and actresses that aren't necessarily talented. They just are kind of ghetto and ridiculous and embarrassing for black people and just don't really, present an image of either talent or civility in terms of how black people are and what we really represent. Like, Leslie Jones, I saw her on Saturday Night Live cooning out. Like she's always the stupid black woman in every scene who does stereotypical black shit, and they just think that's great, because you got this big dark black woman who's acting like a goddamn fool, and we think it's hilarious, and so we're going to give you lots of money and fame and meritorious manumission. Dr. Claude Anderson talks about that, how coonery pays, so she gets paid to be a coon. Tracy Morgan ain't never been funny to me. Tracy Morgan he has not been funny to me since back 15 years ago when I used to see him make all those jokes about being on the toilet, like talking about using the toilet and your butthole burning and whatever. Like I was like, that's gross, man. That's not even funny. This dude is not funny. He wasn't even funny on Def Comedy Jam. So I was like, how in the hell does this guy become this big megastar? And you know what it is though. I mean, in Hollywood, a lot of that shit happens behind the scenes, and I ain't gonna say nothing else. But a lot of people you see when it don't make sense, it's because there's something behind the scenes that makes more sense. How about that? How about we just leave it at that? There's a lot of times who gets to be famous is about who gets chosen to be famous. That's it. That's all it comes down to. Do you fuck with Young Pharaoh? I do not know Young Pharaoh, and I am not into creating beefs with anybody on the internet. So I respect him and what he does, whatever it is. I have heard his name. I've seen some stuff, but I don't know much about the brother. And I saw some of y'all were asking me some stuff about some other things, and I'm just telling y'all guys. I remember I told y'all at the beginning of the year. I said I ain't fighting with no black people on the internet. I ain't fighting with no black people on the internet in 2019, and I think I got through most of 2019 without any fights. I think I might have mentioned a couple of things. I might have explained a couple of things, but I'm not even going to explain no more. No fight. I ain't fighting nobody. I ain't fighting no black people. I got too many white people to fight. I got too much white supremacy to fight to be fighting my own. So I'm not trying to do all of that. I'm just going to call it for what it is and keep going on and doing my thing. So anyway, actually, in fact, Vicky Dillard is actually going to interview. Vicky Dillard works with me. We work together on Fly Newbie and Queen TV, and Vicky's going to interview Umar Johnson. And I really look forward to that interview. FlyNewbieandQueenTV.com. Her show comes on every day, Monday through Friday at 6:30, and that's a partnership. We all work together. Black people all work together to create that platform. And I hope that you guys will support that at FlyNewbieandQueenTV.com. And Vicky Dillard is going to interview Umar. And she asked me, what do you think about that? I said, there's nothing to think because I think Umar is brilliant. I think Umar has a lot of great things to share with black people. He's one of the greatest speakers I've ever seen. And any issues we might have had in the past, I'm just not interested in even addressing that. Now, do I agree with everything he says? No, I can't say that with honesty. I can't be an honest man and say I agree with everything. But at the same time, it's like, why would I go fight with him when I got so many other bigger issues to fight? You can fight white supremacy, fight against racism. Why fight against this stuff? So I'm not fighting no black people. All right, guys. So, oh, interesting. So D Love said I did a quick check on Cynthia Erivo and her tweets and have a disturbing undertone against ADOS. How about this? On my Instagram, I'm going to put my Instagram is the Real Boyce Watkins. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Go research this Cynthia Erivo lady. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a post on my Instagram right now. Instagram, the Real Boyce Watkins. That's my Instagram. And go to the IG. If you know anything about Cynthia that I should know, just comment under that post. And I'm gonna look at those comments before I do my next video and give you my take on Cynthia Erivo and let you guys know what I think. And I'll give you my honest opinion. Okay, so the post will go up now. It's 1:48 a.m. Eastern time on November 1st. So I'm going to go and post something now and ask, basically solicit information. And I'm going to collect the information from the community and I will break it down on this channel. Dr. Boyce Breakfast Club interview postponed or rescheduled. It was postponed to the 4th. I heard from Charlemagne who said, yeah, last week was crazy. Let's do the 4th. So we emailed a guy named Eddie who does a lot of stuff at the Breakfast Club. And right now, I think the communication is muddled or something because we haven't heard back from Eddie. And I just had to say, I'm not going to buy a plane ticket until I hear from Eddie. So if I hear from Eddie, I'll buy a plane ticket and I'll let you guys know when I'm headed to New York. If I don't hear from Eddie, then that's cool too. Still love Charlemagne. Y'all just have to catch me on the Breakfast Club at a different time. So either way, it's all good. I've been on there 4 times, so I appreciate the 4 times they've had me on. Never have anything negative to say about any of them. All right, so I'm going to bounce. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Also, if you live in the Chicagoland area, Alicia and I are hosting an All Black Excellence Spades tournament on November 9th in Joliet, which is about 40 minutes from Chicago. So come on down. If you want to hang out with some black people and play some spades, on November 9th, you can go to drboycechicago.com. That's drboycechicago.com. And also, last but not least, if you want to check out some of our black t-shirts and stuff like that, feel free to go to wokeblacktees.com or WOKE wokeblacktees.com. So feel free to, if you want to support, get you a nice black t-shirt and buy one for Christmas or something for your family. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good night. Bottom line, Dolemite's good. Check it out. I think you're gonna like it. It's a real good movie. See you guys later. Take care. Peace.